letting me talk. You know what, I respect your right to speak, but you're not letting. Let's bring the temperature down. Let's bring the temperature down. Unlike the current president of the United States, I am not going to play down.
All of you guys going to protest Kamala Harris at her book tour to interrupt, to scream about Gaza, I've got to be the dumbest people I've ever met. What sense does it make to interrupt someone at their book tour who's not the president? There is nothing she can do.
Who are these people who are protesting Kamala Harris's rally? Like, genuinely, who are these people? Are there any pro-Palestine organizers that know who these groups are that are doing this? Because here, when we organize in my state, we have very specific targets, and those targets have specific ties to Israel. They're elected officials, like our Senator Tim Kennedy, who just went on a sponsored trip to Israel, right?
It's either racism or you're getting paid. It's either racism or you're getting paid.
Wait a minute. So the pro-Pali movement is now protesting Kamala Harris on her book tour, even if she is a private citizen? Aren't these the same people that said, don't vote for her? And now, wow. This is interesting. Ladies and gentlemen, Kamala Harris is on her book tour of 107 days, right? And yesterday, she was, intercepted by Palestine, protesters. And the way she handled it was amazing. But not just her. There's quite a lot of people in here that are as concerned and confused as I am, right? But welcome back to the channel, first of all. I hope that from wherever you are watching this from, you are doing all right. Hopefully God has protected you and preserved you very well. Thank you to all of you that support me on here. Big shout out to my members. You guys do me amazing. Yes, we have another juicy one to look at about, ex-Vice President Kamala Harris being intercepted by Palestine, protesters asking for accountability, and I don't know what they really wanted her to do, knowing that she's not the president and knowing that there's a full president that is seated in office that needs to be answering all these questions, but then they are avoiding her. So we are going to have to look at these videos, the reactions. Shout out to all the creators who will come back and talk about it. Let me know what you think. You think she is supposed to be answering these people? And yeah, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to the channel. I'll be back with more commentary.
Listen, please. I actually also write about this, okay? Which is about what I know about how and why you are saying what you are saying now and how I felt about it. You're not letting me talk. You know what, I respect your right to speak, but you're not letting me. Let's bring the temperature down. Let's bring the temperature down. Unlike the current president of the United States, I am not going to play down. Bring it down. I respect your right to speak. Let's bring the temperature down, guys. I understand what's happening right now in Gaza. What is happening to the Palestinian people is outrageous, and it breaks my heart. I get it.
Who are these people who are protesting Kamala Harris's rally? Like, genuinely, who are these people? Are there any pro-Palestine organizers that know who these groups are that are doing this? Because here, when we organize in my state, we have very specific targets, and those targets have specific ties to Israel. They're elected officials like our Senator Tim Kennedy, who just went on a sponsored trip to Israel, right? Protesting against and taking a stand against him makes sense to me. Not only is he an elected official currently holding that position, but he has this direct tie, right? We've shown up outside specific buildings. We've to target specific people. This is genuinely confusing me. What is the goal of going after a private citizen, if not to make the movement look disorganized and racist and unreliable? I haven't had a chance to talk to any of my people offline about this, about how they feel about this, because it's just happened. But I think I can say pretty confidently that this is not something that the groups near us would do, unless, again, it was like an elected official. Like if Schumer went on, like Schumer had to cancel his tour. You know what I mean? But again, that's an elected official currently occupying that role of senator. Y'all, I can't lie, this is feeling nefarious. And I've been thinking that the pro-Palestinian movement has been infiltrated by nefarious people for a long time, since way before the election. But I thought that a lot of that was isolated to the internet. Watching these people protest Kamala Harris's book tour while she's a private citizen, like, we did it, right? All of the people that were protesting, trying to make sure she didn't win the election, she didn't win. They did it. That wasn't what my groups were protesting for. There were people that I was working alongside who I continue to work alongside because we kept pushing for the best option for not only Americans, but also the people in Palestine. Voting for Kamala Harris was never a question in the circles that I run in. Wishing for her to take a more intense stand, pushing for that, yes. Always something that we were trying to do. Like, genuinely, I am genuinely flabbergasted by this. And this is honestly something that I have really tried to stay away from talking about online because of how much I feel like the movement has been co-opted and just infiltrated by the absolute worst people. And before I was thinking, I was like, this is just a convenient avenue for people to feel good about themselves without actually doing anything. This is like the 2020 black squares all over again. Now I'm like, are these coordinated efforts to weaken the movement? This is what this feels like. Why would anyone do that? Or were these legitimate protesters? Why are they doing this? Does anybody know who these people are?
All of you guys going to protest Kamala Harris at her book tour to interrupt, to scream about Gaza, I've got to be the dumbest people I've ever met. What sense does it make to interrupt someone at their book tour who's not the president? There is nothing she can do. Have you been to the White House? Have you stood outside on Pennsylvania Avenue? The White House is right down there. Right down there. Pennsylvania is right down there. I live in Washington, D.C. You can go right down the street. You can go yell at him. Y'all will go interrupt Harris talking about her own personal experience for her book tour before you go interrupt the president who decides policy, who determines what actually happens overseas. Y'all give black women the kind of animosity you would never give that white man, and you should examine why that is. Anyways, keep screaming at someone who can't do anything, who tried to do something, who tried to run, who didn't win. Take a Civics 101 course, learn how government works, learn who's in power.
It's either racism or you're getting paid. It's either racism or you're getting paid. Because ain't no way you're trying to tell me Palestinian protesters showed up to Kamala Harris's book event, a private citizen, who, if you voted for her in 2024, you can argue with her in 2025. Why aren't you in DC? Why aren't you protesting Trump? He's the one in office, in case you haven't been following along for the past 9 months. No? Okay. So here's the thing. You can continue to say that you care about the people of Palestine, yet you have not organized anything against Donald Trump. Because why not? You're scared. You can yell at the black lady who you know is going to give you grace. And you can continue to say that her and Donald Trump would be the exact same on this issue, because you can rest on the theory that she would be the same, but you don't actually want to give her a chance to change things that she said needed to be changed. Had you read her book, right? She acknowledged that this is a complex issue, but people that only care about Palestine, that don't care about any of the other atrocities, both foreign and domestic, they only laser focus on this one thing, is because of racism, or you're getting paid to do it. Throwing all of your ire at the black lady who did quite literally nothing to get us in the war, to create an ally out of Israel. Nothing. She didn't pass law. She didn't write legislation. She didn't vote for legislation. She could not do anything besides be an advocate for peace, as she was doing every other day while she was VP of this country. She did everything humanly possible. And all y'all saw was black lady in charge, can't be me. I refuse to be ran by a lady, and I refuse for her to be black. It's either racism or you're getting paid. Because now I feel like we should follow the money. Because how do you have this much time and energy to protest a lady that is a private citizen? You must be getting paid for it. You gotta be getting paid for it. Because you don't care about Palestine. You don't care about Gaza. I'm going to the event in Philadelphia tonight. I hope I'm sitting near a bitch that wants to protest. Because I want your face to be plastered all around these parts, so people can know the face of the person or people that will protest a black lady but won't stand up to a white man. Okay? All right. You guys have a good one.
The fact that there were protesters for Palestine at Kamala Harris's book event is actually not really surprising, but it is absurd for several reasons, one of which being, as we stated during the election, she was the vice president. She did not make the decisions, she didn't make the calls, and between President Joe Biden and Congress, Israel had unequivocal support, and by and large still has unequivocal support for the things that they do. So to make this a Kamala Harris issue, just like y'all did during the election, is absurd. And what's wild to me is during the election, a lot of us were running around saying, hey, what is happening in Palestine is egregious. It is a genocide. Joe Biden's handling of this, as well as Congress is handling this in the United States as a whole for the entire time we've backed Israel, is wrong. Kamala Harris very vocally said that on the one hand, against Iran, Israel has the right to defend itself, and Israel should not be doing what they're doing, and she called for a ceasefire. That was not enough. And also, we knew, but she couldn't say, she wasn't making that decision as to what did and did not happen, and she actually outlines this in the book. But what I'm afraid has happened is that a lot of people use the plight of the Palestinian people as a political weapon against people and politicians, specifically in the Democratic Party or to the left. Because to be clear, Kamala Harris is a private citizen, number one. Number two, people talking about things like accountability archives or Taylor Lorenz writing an article about the creators in chorus, but then running around on the internet being like, these folks haven't spoke out about Palestine and Gaza, which is absurd. It's inflammatory, it's defamatory, and it is once again using actual oppression in order to beat people over the head with. But like I said during the election, and I believe wholeheartedly, is that the best chance for Palestinian people moving forward was the Kamala Harris presidency. Republicans were running around saying they would tell Israel to finish the job. Donald Trump has given Israel carte blanche and has joked and trolled about turning Gaza into beachfront property. Now, it has gotten exponentially worse in Gaza, and it has gotten exponentially worse in the United States. So I beg you, please, with everything in you, shut the actual fuck up. This issue isn't your I told you so. Literally, everything got worse for everyone. And whether you want to admit it or not, many of you became single issue voters. You operate in the same political framework as anti-abortion voters. Those same anti-abortion voters who are now shocked at all of the freedoms and liberties they no longer have because they focused on the one issue. And that's probably something you should sit and reflect on as we collectively in the United States experience this absolutely atrocious administration. Thanks for coming to my TED Talk.
Just say you hate black women and that you showed up at the book tour of the former vice president of the United States, not because you care about what's happening in Gaza, but because you are a cause colonizer that engages in regular misogyn war, and that you want to control the voices of black and brown people in this country through the weaponization of emotional extortion. You aren't protesting now that there are immigrants to this country that deserve the lives that they have here being stripped away from their homes. You're not protesting about the 15 million people that'll lose their health care. You aren't protesting about the fact that there are millions of people that lost access to the HIV/AIDS antiretroviral drug. No. You're busy protesting the book tour of the former vice president of the United States, who is a private citizen, as if that's going to help the situation that you all put us in. You all are deeply unserious people with deeply unserious priorities. Yeah, stop trying to lay at the feet of black people. It's not ours. We didn't create it, and we're not the ones engaging in it. So I'm not going to kowtow or tap dance because you say it's time to. Black people have not engaged in this. And those of you that are protesting, quote unquote, I invite you to go do that at the events happening for other people. I'm sure I could think of several right now. The issue is you all are cowards, right? You only show up where people are going to treat you with decency. You don't go somewhere where you're going to get your behind dragged. So I invite you to stand in the front of the nasty reflection of your truth and recognize that you've not only condemned the people in Gaza, you've condemned us too. And you did it all to virtue signal. My heart goes out to the people in Gaza, but you cause colonizers that live here have the day you deserve.
This is for the protesters that went to Kamala Harris' book tour for 107 days and disrupted this lady's book tour talking about Gaza. My question is, when y'all gonna go and say this stuff to Trump, your current president? Why is y'all messing with a private citizen who does not have the power or in the position to help y'all with Gaza? Y'all didn't want her in office. Y'all did everything to disrupt her, to not vote for her, to try to get others to not vote for her, and you got what you wanted. She didn't win. Why have y'all yet
to go to this man who is your president and go and say all this to them?
Kamala Harris does not owe you, Mom Donnie, anybody that shot her entire 107 days of her campaign. She don't owe y'all. And you know, of course, it's the people who have spent the entire time of Trump's presidency being too scared to go against the Republicans. So they have spent their time talking about the Democrats and Kamala Harris because this is all a fucking grift for views and shit. Kamala Harris and Joe Biden are the president and vice president, so we have to go at them. JD Vance and Donald Trump are the president and vice president right now, and y'all are spending your time going to a book event protesting some shit. What in the fuck is that going to do? This is what I'm saying. Y'all are the most unserious group of fucking people to have ever existed on this fucking planet. Because again, y'all scary asses aren't gonna go protest JD Vance and Donald Trump because they're the motherfuckers that are over there ramaging shit, right? They're the ones over there allowing Netanyahu to destroy shit right now. But because y'all are too fucking scary and y'all are so fucking racist. Oh, let me go to the black woman's book event even though she's a private citizen and hasn't been in the government in fucking 8 months. Let me go here for fucking clicks and views. Like, y'all are the biggest grifting fucking dick. Like, I swear I hate y'all.
Those protesters showing up to Kamala's book tour is the equivalent of somebody coming up to you asking for help while you were on break at work. Like, I actually cannot help you. I'm on break. Actually, I don't even work here anymore. Like, to keep it a buck, I don't work here anymore. I only came up here to see my friends. So maybe you should go talk to somebody else that actually is on the clock. Cause I can't help you. My credentials don't work for the system anymore, Bookie. Like, I actually got fired. So I really don't know how to help you. I just feel like that protest would have meant a little bit more if you actually went somewhere where it actually would have had some type of impact. But the person that you were protesting actually still has some power. I'm sure the goal of the protest was more so to gain media attention. However, maybe do that somewhere where there's some real impact. She has nothing to do with what's going on anymore, unfortunately. Y'all didn't pick her. You didn't pick her. And it's the fact that in order for you to be there, you had to pay to be there. So you essentially wasted your money to go protest an event where the person that's hosting the event can't even assist you. Okay. But I am happy that Kamala handled that situation with class and grace because that's what you do. Me, I would put their ass out.
Hey, the pro-Palestine movement has never beat any allegations. It's just an ops. Because listen, Kamala Harris was in New York City for her book tour last night, right? So some pro-Palestine people bought some tickets. I got her book right upstairs on the porch reading it right now. Bought some tickets, and when she's up there talking, they decided to heckle her. The same people, same group who a week ago were heckling Barack Obama when he was on stage. And Barack Obama and Kamala Harris pretty much had the same answer. Barack Obama said, I'm not the president. And Kamala Harris said, I'm not the president. And you know what's interesting about both of those replies is that the actual president that they helped elect was in New York City 2 days ago, and the hecklers were nowhere to be found. And that's how you know that man has been in office since January, and maybe there's been 1 or 2 quiet protests, but that man has been in public a lot, and they're not protesting him. They're protesting the woman, the black woman, who didn't get elected. Partly because of them. Not wholly, but partly. And she's not elected. She has no power. She's a private citizen making that bank on that book tour. And they're buying tickets to heckle her. And 2 days ago, Donald Trump was in New York. So let me tell you something. Imagine you try to get promoted in your company and people are working against you. And then you don't get promoted. Not only do you not get promoted, but because you didn't get promoted, you are no longer working for that company. Now imagine those people at that company. You show up somewhere else, other side of town, doing some other work, and the people at that company come to where you are and start heckling you. That's what they're doing to Kamala Harris. She's not in government. She has no power in government. And she's out making that bank on a book tour. And they're heckling her while the man in office who has talked about getting rid of every Palestinian on that land, shipping them somewhere, anywhere, so he could put up a resort with his other billionaire oligarchs from all across the Middle East. And y'all dum-dums are heckling the former vice president who has no power. And you know what? I want to say something very specific, very directed to the black people who are part of that movement. You understand what I'm saying. So anyway, get your copy of Kamala's book. Here it is again, 107 Days. I'm doing a series, check it out. But also, I wrote the first book on Kamala Harris. I beat her to it. And this is a keepsake for anybody who wants to have the record of her and Biden's campaign for president, their 4 years of administration, her campaign for president herself, her loss, and the effects. It's a keepsake. It's all there for you.
Let me be frank and let's be real. The pro-Palestinian hecklers here in America are the most unserious bunch on the fucking planet. So you're telling me you went to Ticketmaster, fought off scalpers, spent nearly probably $1,000 to $400 to $500 fucking dollars for a Kamala Harris tour ticket to heckle a private citizen with no fucking power. So you would rather be performative and give money to somebody you hate rather than being like me who has privately given money to Palestinian causes. Unlike y'all, I'm not fucking performative. With the amount of money that you gave to Kamala, you could have gave to fucking Human Appeal. You could have gave to Gaza. You could have gave to Sudan. But nah, you want to play fucking games with a private fucking citizen with no fucking power. Right now, men, women, and fucking children are dying from famine in Gaza. But you want to burn motherfucking money going after Kamala Harris for what? Is it her pantsuit or is it her complexion? The anti-blackness is getting out of fucking control in this damn country. And the only reason why y'all got so much smoke for Kamala Harris versus Donald Trump, who said he's going to turn Gaza into a parking lot and he's going to take ownership of it and it's going to be Trump Gaza. Even the fact that he put out this AI video.
Tunnels coming to set you free, bringing the light for all to see. No more tunnels, no more fear. Trump Gaza is finally here. Trump Gaza shining bright, golden future, a brand new life. Feast and dance, the deal is done. Trump Gaza, #1.
And still no smoke. You want me to believe that they're not anti-black? And no, not all pro-Palestinian people are, but the ones who heckled Kamala Harris and the ones who wanted us to sit out during the election would rather a white supremacist than a competent black woman who called for a ceasefire.
Are we ready to have an honest conversation about the fact that it was never about Kamala Harris's politics and her ability to lead, and had everything to do with the fact that she's a black woman? Y'all said y'all main problem was that y'all didn't want her in office because you didn't think she was going to do anything about it. Now she's not in office and holds no official authority. And y'all are showing up to her book signing to protest? Meanwhile, y'all could just show up to the actual president and vice president's events to protest. Y'all could show up to where Joe Biden is at and protest, since he was the actual former president and had the actual authority while he was sitting in the seat. But instead, y'all chose to protest a book tour for a black woman who has no political authority. Now, I wasn't able to find the clip of them protesting, but I did find this clip of people telling them to get out.
Get out! Talk to your president! Talk to somebody else.
Saying that this had everything to do with the fact that she's a black woman, because if y'all recall, Joe Biden was vice president at one point. And did you know that the same thing that's happening over in Gaza was happening in many countries in Africa? And y'all didn't protest when he was running for office. Okay.
Kamala Harris said, I thought you said that you would never talk about American politics anymore. You were only going to focus on what was happening in Gaza. But I'm seeing that the money is running low and bashing black women is what you do. So I guess my question is what is your thoughts about the death increase in Gaza by 40%? What's your thoughts about that?
Of course, a lot of people are like, these are paid, and I don't know what to believe, but the possibility is there, especially considering the fact that this lady is actually not the president. She's not in any position of the government right now. She's not capable of influencing any policy except speaking up, like any other person can speak up. And from the look of things, in her very own book that she's selling right now, she wrote about Palestine. And yeah, looks like she is against this whole genocide that is going on in Gaza. But these people found it appropriate to look for her anywhere she will go, just to make sure that they protest. I don't know, do they think they can get from her? I don't know what do they think she can do to stop what is happening, especially considering the fact that these are the same very people that, rallied and literally formed movements against voting for her. So right now, what is she gonna do for you? Trump has been going to places here and there, and none of them is showing up. And I know why they are not showing up, because first of all, the first thing he dealt away with was the fact that if you protest for Palestine, you're going to be arrested and you're going to be deported. Yeah? And also, it is so sad how he actually spoke so clearly that he wants to clear up the Gaza Strip and make it a beautiful, hotel or something, resort. He wants to make it a resort. And he's the person that needs to be having all this energy from them. He's the person that needs to face all this backlash and all of that. But they are not going anywhere near him. Why are you afraid of him? If you claim to be brave to go to just a normal private civilian and ask for answers from them, why wouldn't you go and ask for answers from the same person that you didn't have so much fire for? Because he lied to you that he's gonna stop this, that he's gonna stop the war in Ukraine and whatever, between Russia and whatever. He keeps coming on the internet and lying about the wars that he stopped. Meanwhile, the very first one that he said is gonna be the easiest one, later on he had to come out and be like, it's complicated. I hate that this is happening to the people, in Pali, right? But it really don't look like US is in any position to stop Israel from doing the things that they are doing. Unfortunately, US looks like they're bold, and I feel like all we are looking at is just an illusion. We are looking at an illusion of US being the superpower, but to be honest, there's someone else. And I don't know what they are planning to use against US just in case US goes against that country with a star, right? And blue, whatever, white flag. But whatever it is, indeed, it is a huge one. But I understand that at the same time, all these huge corporations and the billionaires and millionaires that are in the US, all of them are, controlled by still that same country. So I don't know if these people are asking the right questions from the right person. In my opinion, this is way bigger and more complicated, like Kamala said. And I don't know who will get US to take a stand when you're seeing, congressmen are going to Israel. Literally, they are strengthening the ties instead of, loosening. They're not taking any stand. They are literally they are taking stands in a way that they are trying to strengthen their ties with Israel instead of, actually voicing, because they were there. Why didn't they talk about it? Anyways, in the latest, that is what we have today. The protesters were there. She handled it like a queen that she's supposed to be. But to be honest, it can be right to assume that these people are paid because they are avoiding the right person to ask these questions, and they are going to places where they are actually not supposed to even be, right? Nobody knows why they are doing this, but it is very clear because in the first place, they took private security from her. So she's not in any way still protected or what, in any way still within the government. She's just a normal person. And even if she fails, even if she were in office and she failed to, stop this, I still wouldn't blame her, to be honest. Why? Because, again, this is a bigger picture. Normal people would just see the surface. The in-depth between the US and that country is just like they have a bond together. They are in a pack that if at all US, don't do what is required of them, I don't know what will happen. But hey, that's just me. I don't know what you guys think. You think it's right for them to go protesting the lady who is actually not even in office? Let me know what you think in the comment section. Don't forget to share, subscribe to the channel as well. And I think from me for today, that's it. I do love all of you, and I'll see you guys later. Till then, my name is Gracie. Bye.